Hello everyone, my name is Anne and I am from the London Theosophical Society headquarters in England, and this is Theosophy in Practical Application. Theosophy in everyday life. It's living theosophy. It is an honor to be here at the 4th International Theosophical Congress among fellow dedicated students of theosophy, theosophists, as well as scientists from all over Russia and many countries across the world. I would like to personally thank the translators in working so hard to get this information out all over the globe, the farthest corners, each and every dedicated theosophist at the Adamant Lodge, members of the Russian School of Theosophy, and also the committed and diligent members of the Theosophical youth groups, all of them, everyone who is helping to do their part to share these ancient sacred teachings that belong to all and solely to none. Now, one can memorize and study and regurgitate and reiterate the ageless divine theosophical teachings, but it is all for naught unless these teachings are applied and put into daily application in every aspect of our lives. This ancient sacred knowledge has been handed down to us by the sages through the ages for us to become them, not to simply read, study, and pontificate, but to come to be them, to be the ancient divine science that is based on fact, not faith. There are many empaths currently incarnating, each with a feeling of close connection with all beings and with nature. In my understanding, this is inherent theosophy, and they offer much hope for humanity as they share the understanding that all and everything is one. Seeing oneself in another, feeling somebody else's emotions and feelings with a sense of overwhelming understanding, unconditional understanding, and unconditional love. Many feel that they must somehow get busy working to change the world, yet the only way this can be done is to change ourselves, our thoughts, our own behaviors, our own actions and reactions. We must change and overcome ourselves. Now, from the voice of the silence, it is said, "Hast thou attuned thy being to humanity's great pain, O candidate for light?" And also, "Can there be bliss when all that lives must suffer? Shalt thou be saved and hear the whole world cry?" So, what to do with all of this crushing compassion? In Light on the Path, it is talked about the great battle. The great battle. We have come to understand that this battle indeed takes place between good and evil, but not via exterior forces, nor by independent supernatural beings in some other realm. This great battle occurs within each and every one of us, our higher and our lower selves. Mind, heart, brain are all obscure and dark until the first great battle has been won. Be not appalled and terrified by this sight, but keep your eyes fixed on the small light, and it will grow. From Light on the Path. To identify and differentiate between the higher and lower selves, I often refer to the age-old virtues and vices of men. The definition of virtue is good moral character, humility against pride, kindness against envy, temperance against gluttony. Chastity doesn't mean you have to be celibate, against lust. Patience against anger, charity and liberality against greed, diligence against sloth. From the voice of the silence, it is described the 7 portals. Thou seest well, Lanu, these portals lead the aspirant across the waters, on to the other shore, which is nirvana. Each portal hath a golden key that openeth its gate, and these keys are Dana, the key of charity and love immortal; Shila, the key of harmony in word and act, the key that counterbalances the cause and the effect, and leaves no further room for karmic action; Kshanti, patience sweet, that naught can ruffle; Virag, indifference to pleasure and to pain, illusion conquered, truth alone perceived; Virya, the dauntless energy that fights its way to the supernal, which means heavenly or celestial truth, out of the mire of lies terrestrial. Dhyana, whose golden gate, once opened, leads the Naljor, the adept, that's you, toward the realm of Sat, divine essence, absoluteness, beingness eternal, and its ceaseless contemplation. And Prajna, the key to which makes of a man a god, creating him a bodhisattva, son of the Dhyanis. Such to the portals are the golden keys. Also, from the voice of the silence, of teachers there are many. The master soul is one, Alaya, the universal soul, or Atman. Live in that master as its ray in thee. Live in thy fellows as they live in it. Thou shalt not separate thy being from being in the rest, but merge the ocean in the drop, and the drop within the ocean. The world needs no sectarian church, whether of Buddha, Jesus, Muhammad, Swedenborg, Calvin, or any other, there being but one truth. Man requires but one church, the temple of God within us, walled in by matter, but penetrable by anyone who can find the way. The pure in heart see God. Altruism is the keynote of Theosophy and the cure for all ills. It's compassion and kindness. That's a letter from HPB. To live to benefit mankind is the first step, says the voice of the silence. So it is selflessness, compassion, kindness, unconditional love, empathy and understanding, and service to all beings that is to be applied in everyday life, whether it be tragedy or triumph, fear or calm, in both the known and the unknown. We must take these teachings and put them into practice, in being kind to those who are unkind to us, in overcoming our need to be right, in realizing that everything, every opportunity, every difficulty is a test and a lesson if we are willing to learn. Every activity, no matter how small, should be infused with Theosophy. It is our responsibility to become living Theosophy in our every action, reaction, and response, which is truly the only thing we have any control over. We have a choice to become the difference that helps to alleviate the unnecessary suffering of all beings on our planet. The meaning of life is to continuously work to conquer our own lower selves, to leave this world a little better, a little lighter and brighter than when we got here. The Master Kutumi says the greatest consolation in and the foremost duty of life, child, is not to give pain and avoid causing suffering to man or beast. Theosophy is who Theosophy does, not thinks, not studies, not feels, but does. This is attributed to HPB. So it is not what you think, it is what you do. The end of man is an action and not a thought, though it were the noblest. That's from the Key to Theosophy and a quote from Thomas Carlyle, who was a 19th century British historian and philosopher. From The Secret Doctrine, the universe is worked and guided from within outwards. As above, so it is below. As in heaven, so on earth. And man, the microcosm and miniature copy of the macrocosm, is the living witness to this universal law and to the mode of its action. Theosophy cannot be bought or taught, but it can be earned and learned. The timeless sacred words of truth remain simply just terms until put into action by mankind. Now, we could read books until the end of time on how to drive a car, tirelessly memorizing all of the names and the functions of the parts, and we may technically understand the premise of the engineering and hear of others' experiences behind the wheel. But until we sit in the seat and actually take to the roads and do it ourselves, we have not truly learned how to drive a car. As scientists perform experiments to prove theories, we humans must have personal experience to prove our own understanding. Silence is not empty. It is full of answers. We were born with our own built-in guidance, our own sat-nav. It's Theosophy. It's humanity's textbook. If we work every day in every way to overcome ourselves and subdue the beast within us, and always reach for a better way to act, a better way to respond, then we, like candles in the blackest night, can help to illuminate the darkness. Theosophy gives us every tool and paves the way for each of us as individuals to understand our connection. So let us unite as the cells of the endless, boundless being that we are. For together in self-assessment, reflection, and realignment, we can become the opposite to that which still plagues humanity: selfishness, ignorance, superstition, fear, which is hate, greed, all the causes of perpetual unnecessary suffering. And from the voice of the silence to close, then from the heart that power shall rise into the sixth, the middle region, the place between thine eyes, when it becomes the breath of the one soul, the voice which filleth all. 'Tis only then thou canst become a walker of the sky. Thank you for letting me be here today. It is a pleasure and an honor. I love you.